The Old Testament Adam story is a figure, a type and figure of something below. Ooh, so powerful. Remember in Genesis chapter 1, man was put in the earth, blessed, told to have dominion over the earth and everything in it, to be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth. So to multiply and expand, be blessed, and to bless everything, and to rule and reign over everything in the field, over everything in creation. Man below was to be the visible image of the invisible Word, or the Word made flesh. And that Word is light, it's truth, and it's revelation knowledge. So it's light within that man, revealing to that man who that man is according to light and in the light. Because even though you would see his body down here physically in this earth and in a literal garden, his mind, his consciousness, his spirit, the light he is in another dimension, above or higher or within or beyond this realm out here. And in order for that to happen in this realm out here, where he needs to be living from, seated in and seeing around him, is at the other end of the book, in the book of Revelation, the book of the revelation of Jesus Christ, which is the book of the man or being of light in the heavenly realms, high above every power, principality, angel, star, ruler in high places, everything in the heavenly realms, in the celestial realms above. He holds the 7 stars in his right hand. Everything is beneath his feet. So he's standing on the top over all of creation, over all of heaven, or before all of heaven, from the beginning, before heaven and earth began. From that throne in that place, this being of light resting, shining like the sun, with rainbows and lightning bolts coming out from before them, river of crystal clear water coming forth from innermost being and belly, crystal clear consciousness to see as, it says, now we see in a dimly lit mirror, or a foggy mirror, see in part. But when perfection is come, we will know as we are known. And at the end of the book, the source, the Father, through the Son, the visible light, and the revelation knowledge of the Father, invite anyone who would turn and believe and come through the Son, come through Yeshua or Jesus. Behind him was the light that was from the beginning, the Son of God, the light that was in the beginning with God, the Word that is light, the Word that was with God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. You began in him before the foundations of the world began. Before you had a body formed for you in your mother's womb, he knew you in him as light. You began in light, you were begotten as light, but you were born into this world in flesh and blood. And in you was born a conception of yourself, who you think you are, who you say I am, based according to this physical flesh image. And so the fall of Adam was falling for the image of himself in the flesh, and going after that image and living in the world, or living in darkness, living in the earth, based according to a shadow. And so he fell below into darkness, or to the dust, or to the ground, and lived locked out of the garden, cursed in his mind to labor and sweat and toil and till the ground by the sweat of the brow, working real hard as a human being to try to figure out how to do or change my situation, never knowing that you are the sower, the seed, and the field concealed. You are the sower, the seed, and the field concealed, or the Father, the Mother, and the Son right behind the veil of your flesh. And when you close your eyes, you come out of the physical, garden, and you go into the garden of your heart. You go into the heavenly or invisible realms. You go into the garden of your heart, and in that infinite, limitless field of potential, you are the one releasing the seeds of the thoughts and intentions of your heart. It says the word of God is so sharp, sharp enough to divide asunder bone from marrow, spirit from soul, and discern the thoughts and intentions of the heart. You are the one releasing thoughts and intentions of your heart into the field continually, sowing the seeds in the field or releasing the sperm into the womb of the world. And what she births to you is evidence of what's in your heart. She keeps creating and birthing to you the experiences, the reality, the circumstances, the situations, the relations. Everything is teaching you. It's Lady Wisdom behind all of this and in all of this. It's a field of intelligence responding to you and bringing to you experiences in the earth and in the field, trying to wake you up to what's beyond that and what's in your heart, so that we can go into the darkness by faith and be born again as a son, a S-O-N, like a S-U-N, be born as a star in the heavens, be born from above, be born of spirit and waters. I make my angels winds and my messengers a flame of fire. You're born in the heavens like a star, like a sun above, and you no longer think of yourself by the image based according to the flesh, by the shadow, by the image of man, seemingly of dust. Instead, you're born of the heavenly image of the Christ light, Son of God that was from the beginning, ruling and reigning over all things. In the finished work, it is finished. You receive your inheritance and your birthright as the Son of God, and you take Jesus up on his extension, his invitation, his promise to he who overcomes or is victorious. I will allow to come sit on my throne with me, just like as I overcame and was victorious, I sat down in my Father's throne with him. So there's an invitation through a word, through a story, down into space and time, into the dust and into the darkness you are, to call you up and to speak to you as a son. Faith comes by hearing, hearing the word of God. So you could hear about God, you could hear about a God reaching out to you, you could hear about a God who wants to heal you, to forgive you, to lift you up, to raise you up, to call you son, to bring you into an embrace, to welcome you into the kingdom, and to dust off this place for you, a throne set aside for you from the beginning, because you began in him in the beginning. It was never a possibility that you wouldn't wind up right here, right now. You began in him as he foreknew you, and he saw your whole life and imagined your whole life, that he would walk it out with you, that you would walk it out together. Even when you didn't know he was there, he was still there with you, waiting for you to wake up and realize, come to know him.